Cavalry, form a shield wall!
I am Arland, from the village of Oritan, in the kingdom of Vlandia.
Welcome to the Dey Oritan Chronicles, life in Calradia.
Shields up!
Welcome to this episode. Let's dive right in by introducing some of the new faces in the warband, recruited either from taverns along the way, or after displaying exceptional skill in battle. To spice things up, we'll be showcasing highlights from our battles and tournaments, in the background, as they happened. Every warband needs a healer, and when Arland met one in the Oxhall Tavern, he wasted no time in asking her story.
The woman in our family passed down the art of healing and other, services. That can be accomplished with herbs, from generation to generation. But for all our skill we remain poor, while richly robed. Well-fed men with half our skill walked about the towns tending to the lords and ladies. By the time I became a woman, I was sick of filthy huts and puking babies. I came to the towns and inquired after which households, among those who had wealth, might have a patient for me. Of course, when I showed up at the door in my torn, stained dress, they slammed it in my face. So I acquired some dinars. I will not say how. And with it bought a silk robe and some jewelry. This got me inside the doors of rich men's houses, and the cures I worked, and the reputation I earned have done the rest. But I've noticed something. More dinars are spent on war than on anything else. So, if someone's raised an army and doesn't want to lose their investment to infected wounds and fevers, well, it might be worthwhile to employ me.
You and your herbs are most welcome. Una.
Greetings, noble lord. I am Tribidan the Great, the unparalleled, the undefeated, the very embodiment of martial prowess. Allow me to enlighten you on why your warband desperately needs the likes of me. Picture this, a battlefield, chaos all around, and there in the midst of it all, a beacon of hope. Cutting down foes left and right, with a grace that can only be described as poetic. That beacon, my lord, is none other than myself. I have bested more knights in duels than there are stars in the sky, and my mere presence has sent entire armies fleeing in terror. Just last fortnight, a dragon dared cross my path. The beast took one look at my gleaming sword and turned tail, realizing that even its legendary fire was no match for the blazing inferno of my skill. You see, my lord, it's not just my exceptional abilities that set me apart, but my unrivaled humility and penchant for inspiring greatness in others. My fellow soldiers look up to me, not only because I'm taller, but because my valor and gallantry shine brighter than 1,000 suns. They say a hero is only as good as his last battle, and my last battle was the stuff of legends. So, you see, my lord, taking me into your service is not merely a prudent choice, but an investment in securing that your triumphs shall be sung by minstrels for generations to come. Let us tarry no longer. Enlist me forthwith, and together we shall deliver a spectacle your foes shall never forget.
Tribidon, if you fight half as good as you boast, we will be blessed by your company.
Slavers took me when I was a girl. The Empire tell legends of warrior women out in the deep steppe. And when I was sold, they claimed I was one of these to fight other slaves, to entertain them by making their legends come true. Well, perhaps there is something to those legends, because I did very well for myself and make my master very rich. Imperial law now decrees that men are not allowed to kill in the arena, but no one pries into what happens at the private entertainments of the rich. Over a score of my fellow slaves must have eat my blade in their chest.
Your guard denies a clear
I feel no guilt. They were trying to kill me, and some came very close. I did what I needed to do. There's not much more to say. My master was a sadistic animal, but he let me keep my winnings and eventually buy my freedom. I think he may also have realized that eventually, had he kept me against my will, he would have ended up with a severed neckline. So here I am, looking to make a living to the only means I know, shedding other people's blood. At work for me?
Certainly. Islena, I'm sure your skills will be of value, and we are happy to have you join us.
going. Ling. Flame blow.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Papenbart, a seasoned warrior with years of battle experience. I have fought in numerous skirmishes and grand battles, serving various lords and commanders throughout the years. I've seen the glory and the horror of war, from the triumphant cries of victory to the somber silence of defeat. I could tell tales of valor and bloodshed, but I found that stories of war tend to be, well, rather grim. Instead, I think a bit of levity might better serve to illustrate my point.
You're only embarrassing yourself.
A young squire, eager to prove his worth in battle, approached an old knight and asked, "Sir, what is the secret to surviving so many battles?" The old knight, with a twinkle in his eye, replied, "The trick, lad, is to always be on the winning side." Now, it is but a simple jest, yet it holds a grain of truth. The ability to adapt, to find the winning side in every conflict, has kept me alive and victorious to many a campaign. I can lead a party, or step in as deputy when needed. My skills with the sword and my strategic mind are at your service, my lord.
Your tactical and leadership skills make this an easy choice. Welcome to the clan Papenbach.
My father was a blacksmith, and I grew up helping out in the forge, and occasionally engaging in the uproar with peers.
One day, a commotion erupted near the local tavern. A minor noble, Lord Edric,
Was shouting about his sturdy, stubborn, and well-known mule named Buttercup that went missing while the lord was having a drink or two. Some said the mule was stolen. Others thought it might have wandered off into the nearby woods. Having some trekking experience from hunting, my mind became set on finding that mule, for surely there would be a reward worth my while.
Following the tracks deeper into the woods, I was hoping the search would be a quick one, as the sun was setting. Then I saw the mule in question munching contentedly on a patch of particularly lush grass, on the other side of a dense grouping of trees. As time was not on my side, I decided to go straight through the thicket.
after several missteps, a detour through a prickly bush, and a rather unfortunate encounter with an angry squirrel, at last I stumbled upon Buttercup.
I spoke to it softly to keep it calm. As I fashioned a makeshift lead from a piece of rope I carried with me, and so we began the trek back to the village. Lord Edric was well pleased, and I received a pouch full of dinars for my trouble.
That was the day that I decided to embrace my newfound talent, owning my skills by tracking everything, from runaway chickens to the baker's elusive cat.
Now, over the years, I have only gotten better with experience, and I'm looking for scouting work if you have any available.
Our party is in need of a scout. Welcome to the clan Anhalm.
Some say I've got a bit of a cruel streak. It's just business, you see. When you're in the thick of battle, you can't afford to be soft. But you can count on me when the arrows start flying and the swords start clashing. I've cleaved my way through more brigands, sea raiders, bandits and empire lackeys than I can count. I don't do fancy footwork or poetic speeches. I just get the job done. When the battle horn blows, you can bet your finest ale that I be at the front, cleaving skulls and breaking bones. Speaking of ale, I don't ask for much in life. A good fight, a hearty meal, and a jug of the finest brew are all I need to keep me going. Throw in a few winsome wenches, and I'm as content as a cat in the sun.
Well played.
So, my lord, if you're looking for a Voygier who knows his way around a battlefield, look no further.
I see everything.
Welcome to the clan Aldrich. Our infantry will be the stronger for it.
One more.
Time flies when you're traveling the round raiding bandits, and the like. And as Arland turned 21, he couldn't help but reflect on the time that passed since he first set out to acquire more farmland and build up his warband and clan. The dawn of a new chapter was near, when he would need to align himself with a kingdom, Vlandia being the natural choice. Following that, his sights are on acquiring a few fiefs, and then perhaps even considering marriage.
But first, a few more companions to introduce.
Oh, and if you are enjoying this episode so far, make sure to
Like and subscribe.
for more adventures ahead. Arland had always had admiration for the elusive dryad archers, and was happy to have some of them fighting as mercenaries in the warband. Two of them especially stood out, and Arland could not believe his luck when they agreed to join the clan, well knowing that their unmatched precision with a bow would be invaluable in the battles to come.
I am Narina, but in the forests of Battania, I am known as Swift Song. They call me this because, well, let's just say that my arrows sing faster than a bard can tune his lute. When I was just a young lass, I found refuge with the Dryads, escaping my own share of misfortunes. My stepmother, poor woman, had an odd mishap with a beehive and a jar of honey. Purely accidental, of course. She insisted I was cursed, and I thought it wise not to contradict her. So to the woods I went. Living among the Dryads, I learned to hunt and survive in Battania's cold, hostile forests. My arrows can find a hare's heart at 100 paces, and a man's eye at twice that. But I did not stay hidden in the woods to keep such talents to myself. My lord, I find myself eager to see more of Calradia, to trade the familiarity of trees for the open, wider landscapes. I've outwitted bandits and beast alike, always a step ahead, always with a plan. A well-placed arrow can solve problems before they even arise, and a whisper of mischief can keep things interesting.
Norena, you had me at Swift Song. Glad to have you joining us.
I am a hunter first by necessity, and a warrior second by circumstance. My father, a mercenary, had no sons, so from a tender age I was thrust into the wilds to provide for my family. The forest became my home, and its creatures my quarry. By the time I reached adulthood, I had become a master hunter, adept at tracking and felling game with a precision few can match. 3 years ago, during the war between Battania and the Northern Empire, I was away from our village, hunting deep in the woods, and upon my return, I found my village reduced to ashes, raided and burnt by a party from the Empire. Many of my remaining relatives perished in the attack, while others fled in desperation. I have not seen them since that fateful day. With nothing left to anchor me to the past, I turned back to the woods, seeking refuge and purpose among the Dryads. Over time, I have grown to appreciate their way of life, even as I now yearn for more. I am skilled with a bow, and my arrows fly true. I have spent years in the shadows of the trees, stalking prey with patience, and striking with deadly accuracy. With me in your ranks, their enemies will fall before they even know they are being watched.
Everyone, stay close. Everyone, fire!
You are most welcome, Funara.
Before we introduce our next companion, a few words about the community he comes from. For the Dryads are not the only forest-dwelling folk in Battania. The forest people, who, living deep in the woods, beyond the reach of Battanian Mormiers, practice slash-and-burn farming. They clear and burn sections of forest, grow crops on the ash-rich soil, and then move on when the land is spent. This method is labor efficient for their small numbers and makes it difficult for rulers to tax them. A strategy well suited for those who prefer to remain free from governance.
From a young age, I knew I was different. While my peers were content to drift through life like leaves on a river, I had grander ambitions. I didn't want to live a life constantly on the move, dodging taxes and avoiding governance. No, I dreamt of belonging to a kingdom, of rising through the ranks, and perhaps one day even wearing a title more respectable than a guy from the woods. I have been trained in the arts of archery and sword fighting since I could walk. You see, my lord, my people believe in teaching the young to defend themselves. And well, let's just say I took to it like a duck to water. I can split an arrow at 50 paces and disarm an opponent before he even knows what hit him. I've been in more scrapes than I can count, and I've come out on top every time. A place in your warband would be a chance to prove that a lad from the forest can be more than just a phantom in the trees. I assure you, my skills will be an asset to your cause.
Good archers are always in demand, Boron. Welcome to the clan.
So, we come to our last introduction, for now at least. Not only a companion, but a brother no less. Rendel, who is Arland's eldest sibling, had always been a lad with a fire in his heart, with ambitions far beyond the simple life of their village. From a young age, Rendel had shown a natural talent for riding, so Arland sent him away to become a squire, knowing that Rendel's fiery spirit needed to be tempered with the discipline of a seasoned warrior. A knight took Rendel under his wing, guiding him through the brutal realities of battle, while keeping him from harm's way. Under this tutelage, Rendel not only learned the ways of war, but also the art of leadership. His charm and fearlessness inspired those around him, and his victory in a local tournament that featured several seasoned opponents impressed many, including Arland. Now, at 18, he had come of age and joined Arland's warband. As Arland's current heir, he is eager to prove himself within the warband. And while fiercely loyal to Arland, Rendel is all too aware that until Arland has children, clan leadership is but one stroke of bad luck away.
Randall finally decided to join us on the battlefield, I see. I was beginning to think you were enjoying the comforts of the court a bit too much.
Infantry, give 'em hell! Horsemen, charge!
Comfort, if you call sleeping in a straw bed and polishing someone else's armor comfort, Then less I was living the dream.
So, are you ready to trade your squire's duties for something more challenging?
I figured I'd give you some competition, brother. Can't let you have all the glory.
Good to have you with us, brother.
The joys of sibling rivalry. Hope you enjoyed the introductions. There will surely be more in the future. Next up, Arland is in the mood to fly a new color on his banner.
My greetings to you.
So then, what is it?
Your Grace, I would like to enter your service.
And how would you serve us?
My lord, I would pledge allegiance to you and be counted among your loyal followers.
You are known as a brave warrior and a fine leader of men, Arland. I shall be pleased to accept your sword into my service, if you are ready to swear homage to me.
I am ready, your lordship.
Good then, repeat the words of the oath with me. I swear homage to you as lawful king of the Vlandians.
I swear homage to you as lawful king of the Vlandians.
And I will be at your side to fight your enemies, should you need my sword.
And I will be at your side to fight your enemies, should you need my sword.
And I shall defend your rights, and the rights of your legitimate heirs.
And I shall defend your rights and the rights of your legitimate heirs.
With a bit too much eagerness for our first battle under Vlandian colors, our fearless leader Arland has been unceremoniously unseated from his horse. Fortunately, his head's still on his shoulders, and he should be fine, other than a headache. And, as for his pride, well, a lesson learned, we hope.
Riders, hear me! Get moving!
But fear not. The warband can count their blessings that I'm here to take command. With our superior numbers and strength, victory should be well within our grasp, especially with me at the helm. Even the most glorious sagas must take a pause. Yes, not even my magnificence and ever-growing renown can keep this episode from ending. But worry not. In the next installment, Arland, now a proud vassal of Vlandia, will set out to acquire a fief or two, be it by grant or by force. Who doesn't love a good siege? And after that, perhaps a suitable bride, and an heir to secure the legacy of the Dey Oritan clan as we march towards a glorious future. Join us again soon for more adventures in Calradia.